moshpitpassion, for the passion of the music.
Herzlich willkommen hier bei moshpitpassion auf YouTube. Ich bin der Kajo und wie ihr sehen könnt, ich bin nicht alleine hier. Ich habe die Ehre, hier euch Dani, Filth von Cradle of Filth zu präsentieren. Die Band bringt am 21. März ein neues Album raus. Das Ganze nennt sich The Screaming of the Valkyries. Ein richtig krasses, fettes Album, wo ich persönlich finde, das Ding wird mal wieder ordentlich scheppern. Und ich würde sagen, an dieser Stelle, ich gehe ins Englische über. So, Danny, thank you very much for having you here at the Morbid Passion YouTube channel. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's a pleasure.
I saw during the last weeks a lot of press, a lot of headlines and claims, and when you're doing this kind of, let me say, press and interview thing, are there any questions which are for you annoying? Kind of like, hey, where does your band name come from? Or like, hey, what about the Ed Sheeran feature?
Oh yeah, well that can't be talked about, so it's not annoying. I think it's when we go, right, we've got half an hour, and then people go, okay, well, let's go through each and every song at length. And I just like, oh. I say, I'd rather people just interpret it. And then people will then sit and just tell me all about the record and ask my opinion. I'll be like, well, you literally just described it. Cool, thanks. So yeah, other than that, I love interviews. They're cool.
I saw also recently a claim or headline where you talked about physical products. At least it was all blown up on the internet. And for me, you can see it in my back. I'm a huge record collector. For me, it's very important. It's also important for the metal community that bands are releasing physical products. And yeah, from your perspective, I mean, also from the band perspective, from the extreme metal and extreme metal scene, how important is for you that like limited vinyl, limited CD kind of thing, that it's exclusive, you know?
I don't think that is that important, to be honest. Um, and I think I was misquoted because rather than I wasn't attacking the platforms, I was using one of them in particular as one would if you were describing, I don't know, fast food joints. You'd say McDonald's or Burger King, the go-to channel. My point here is that government legislation there should be something put into place by the government, respective governments, a European governing board. I don't know. I'm not in control, but something that gives good tariffs for musicians, good pay for what is essentially their livelihood being exchanged. At the moment, it's paltry. Very very small the amount people get per record, and that's more what I was on about. I'm not so bothered about. I mean, I do like special editions. Don't get me wrong, and we've done some amazing ones for this album, but I don't think they're primarily important. For this album, we decided not to do a special edition of the record with bonus tracks because one, it feels like we're pandering to, I don't know, record companies, whatever, someone else, not us, because we've written the record. We don't want to extend it by any more songs. And in fact, last record, we put two other songs on the record, and people were moaning that it was too long. So this time we decided, nope, we're just going to deliver you the album as we see fit. There's no bonus tracks for the Philippines. There's no extra material. It's the album, but it's still physical product. But yes, of course, vinyl. I know people love vinyl, and we've done some amazing ones this time. We've got a blood-filled one,
Yes.
and like marble effect one. So yeah, I mean, I think the metal community is very loyal. They feel like they've got. I don't know, something about metal in general where it's a bit more. It's not as superficial as pop music, where you literally wear your badge on your badge or your heart on your sleeve, and metal fans want that experience. They want to go behind the curtain and have everything pertaining to that form of escapism. Because at the end of the day, that's what metal is. It's about escapism and igniting um, uh, people's wonder and interest and yeah, could have third eye, I suppose, but whatever.
If I get it right, you are a father of a girl which is now in mid-20s. I'm a father also of a girl. And let's dig a little bit to that Spotify thing. I don't know if your daughter is also using this platform for consuming music, but do you see how do you see, let me say, this kind of generation, how they are consuming and using music, or instance, like social media, like TikTok? And you were like, yeah, all right, that's the future, streaming and TikTok for band advertising. How were your feelings about that?
Well, I don't think my daughter uses TikTok, and my daughter uses Tidal, um,
Mm.
but she goes to lots of concerts as well, and she does have some she does buy some CDs, but I am also a stepdad to a 12-year-old boy, and they barely touch music really. Although they do have a Spotify account, which is part of them, my partner's. Um, yeah, the thing is, my partner is 20 years younger than me, and came from a different generation where it really wasn't that important, I don't think. Um, it depends who you are, really, and it's each to their own. I grew up, my dad was a record collector. I gravitated toward that. Everybody I knew collected records because it was like mid 80s. And as soon as CDs came into play, I mean, I collect records, but not, I'm not, I literally, I had a massive record collection when I was young. I rebought it all on CD. I'm not going back again and buying it all on bloody vinyl just for the sake of it. But I still buy CD. I bought one literally, when was it? 2 days ago. Um,
Which one?
Funny enough, it was the last Obituary album.
Mm.
I just wandered into a store and it had it there, and I was like, I don't have this one. But I went to see them not so long ago and I loved it. And yeah, so um but I'm always ordering, looking for soundtracks because soundtracks, funnily enough, are the first to go because I presume, I'm just presuming here, but if a soundtrack's issued of an album, it's got to be a big film for them to warrant the production. And I'm finding less and less big films now are actually having soundtracks. You go and look for them, even on, like um, some of the, like the search platforms and stuff like that. Music ones, I can't remember the name, Discogs for a start. And yeah, just very rare. I tried to get Hans Zimmer one, a special edition of June, and it was sold out like literally immediately. And ordered it again from a different company. I waited about 3 months, and then they came back and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we oversold it. Here's credit for your." And it's like, "Oh, great." So yeah, I love soundtracks, and I'm just finding it very, very hard to get those. So I'm hoping that's not something that's happening the world over, and soon we all won't be getting CDs, or only few people get CDs. I already noticed some of my favorite bands don't release CDs unless they're you order it from like an online store, which is becoming more popular as
Um,
well.
when you're talking about soundtracks, is it like the sample, the OST, or is it like a score when it comes to soundtracks?
Score,
Score.
yeah, it's a collection of people's music. No, no scores.
And do you ever visit like a record fair? For instance, here I live in Germany. Across the border, there's two times in a year the world greatest record fair. It's completely nuts in Den Bosch.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, well, I always endeavor when I get to a festival, I try and get out before everybody comes in to go and quickly have a look through And I tell you what, the best thing, I was on holiday not so long ago, in a very rural part of England, and I turned a corner and there was like a records, like an old school record store in this village, and it was amazing. And I was like, this is so weird, but so cool. Um, I could have been in there all day, but I obviously wasn't. I had family with me, so I tried to wrestle a good hour.
Do you ever source some kind of your records, which was, I don't know, the price, $500, $1,000 for a special press from the past, and you were like, yeah, nice, that's my band, my record. I don't know why that guy is selling in that store that record for $500. For instance, the Nymphetamine vinyl record from the Roadrunner years, from 21 years ago. It's a huge record. Uh, uh, and for me, a holy grail to find. It's so expensive on Discogs, for instance, or on
I,
the.
I, I saw. I went into a shop the other day in London, just to kill a bit of time, and they had a copy of Under a Funeral Moon in there,
Oh,
and the first Emperor EP, both going for £500 a piece. I've got an original Death Crush, and I was thinking maybe I should just with the original one with the pink cover,
yeah, the pink cover.
and I was wondering how much that'd be worth because the record's shit. It always has been shit. I bought it for £4.99.
Oh,
I back in the day, back in the day, 1987, I bought it, and on the strength of the song, there's one really good song on it, and I bought it for that because the radio station played it, but it's not the best. I mean, obviously, everything after that got a lot better, but yeah, it's remarkable how much things are selling for nowadays. Incredible.
I don't know if you are still on the Oracle management in the US with Desfa Farah from Devil
Yeah.
Driver. And do you, let me say, discuss with Des also the market in the US? For instance, US, they don't have this kind of record culture, record store culture like we in in England or here in
I don't know. I
Germany.
beg to differ. They have record store day, and I've been to a few. And if you ever been to Amoeba Music, my God, like that's the ultimate records. Well, there's two of them, I think. Maybe me. I can't remember if there's three. Two of the main ones, anyway. But I disagree. I think they do. And Australia, I was surprised. I went to Australia and I went for a walk when we were playing Melbourne and went to a record store and I thought, cool, it's gonna be difficult taking it all the way back to England, but if I find something cool, I'll buy it. And everything was brand new, literally everything. And I'm a big fan of old thrash. So I mean, I saw Razor, Exciter, Tankard, shit like that.
Yeah,
At War, Violent Force. But these were old records that obviously been reprinted from the little labels some of these bands used to be
yeah,
on. And they were selling for 55, 60. I know Australian dollars are, a lot cheaper, but I was like, fuck, up to $75. And the whole store was like that. And I was thinking I'd go in there and, pick up a few bargains for $5 or whatever. No. The thing was brand new. And
oh,
I was quite impressed.
mm,
I was impressed by the fact that there is a demand, even for fucking Razor. My God.
oh.
But one of my favorite bands, by the way. But I couldn't believe how, how regurgitated it felt.
Yeah.
Like no, like piles of old metal to flick through, just all new.
Mm. In case you are trading records, let me know. I got a huge thrash metal records, and like I said, I'm from Essen, Germany. It's the capital city of thrash metal in the world, like
It is.
Creator,
Why
Sodom.
haven't we? Right when we were when Cradle first started playing,
Yeah,
1994, we came with Anathema and At the Gates. We played in Essen. Uh, we came back when, well, God knows how many times we came back to play with Essen because our friends Eternal Dirge lived just round the corner from the venue. So we must have played there about five, six times and
yeah.
then never again. So weird.
Crazy.
I think the last time we played in Essen was probably around the Medien tour.
I think last time you played here in my area, it was Bochum at the Matrix. It's a shelter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That, yes. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize how that was close to Essen.
And yeah, and however, at least I would like to ask you, yeah, about the new record and what are the next steps, the next plans? Like, unfortunately, record sales are going, or let me say, the physical part of records are going more and more back. Digital sales streamings are more on the rise. Do you ever thought about, all right, we have to, or let me say, rethink our business structure model, how we promote our music? Was there ever some kind of, let me say, finding a new direction, like also like getting new target groups, younger target groups, new
Well,
fans?
that all sounds a little bit contrived, though. What we did was write a fucking good record, and we've got very good people working for us. We've got great record company with Napalm Records, first proper record with them. We did obviously a double live record, but this is the first um, official new album for Napalm. And yeah, we're still with the Oracle management. Des is one of my best friends. Him and his wife, amazing management. We've got great people around us, really great. And you know, as naive as it seems, I leave things for their capable hands. I realize it is a job as well as a love, but I do try to stop it getting too contrived. Um, so yeah, I think writing good records, promoting yourself. Um, I mean, it's half the battle, and everybody else has to do what they want. And don't get me wrong, digital still works. I mean, that's how you find new bands.
Mm,
It's just go governments have got to put in place some way, just the way they cut back energy costs and put markers on those stop, you know, criminal gas organizations for charging people stupid amounts of money. They put caps on that. They should do a similar thing and for streaming. Have a minimum amount. I mean, it'd be pitiful, of course. It'd be like a hundredth of a penny or a hundredth of a thousandth of a euro per play or even less. But it's got to be better than what it is at the moment. And if people want the music industry to survive, and you don't just want, you know, the Dua Lipas and the Lady Gagas and the whoever, just them
mm,
survive like cockroaches after a nuclear explosion, um, then you need to invest. It's like going to concerts. If you don't go to concerts, how can you expect bands to play? You know, we get that a lot. Come to this place, come to this place, and you go there, and the people that wanted to come just don't bother. They've got something else to do that day. So yeah, it's all circumstantial as well. Um, and it's affected by all kinds of things. I don't think it's just that particular problem. But anyway, enough of that. More about our album.
yeah. There's of course the new record. It's a new banger. You released the first single in October, by the end October, and was a Halloween song.
Yeah,
Was a,
we badgered Napalm Records to bring it out early for that because, well, quite frankly, there was no point bringing out that for Christmas or Easter. It's yeah, it's a song about All Hallows Eve.
sure, it makes
In
sense.
Yeah, and I wanted it to make people's Halloween playlists. I mean, it's just one of those things. I know it brought it a little, but I think it worked. I think that was the point of it. It would have been a missed opportunity had it come out for Christmas.
Yeah. And what I really like is the artwork. It's typical like Cradle of Filth style, let me say, like this. How do you, let me say, develop this kind of artwork always in the past, or when it comes to the new records? How do you collaborate with the artist when it comes to, yeah, the artwork?
Well, it's after all the great artists we've used in the past, it's getting ever more difficult to find someone that is wow, has a wow factor, has a Cradle vibe, and is just a little bit different so you haven't seen it before. And this time I was very fortunate to stumble upon um, the artist. Um, and he, when I gave Roberto Diaz, sorry, I had to say it, and he was interested. And so basically, long story short, I gave him the lyrics and said, "It's up to you." And he was quite surprised that I would do that, and I just generally let them have. I'm obviously guide it along because it's not just the album cover, but we had a succession of different pieces for the booklet. So I think he did about 11, 12 images. And obviously, yeah, you guide it along, and it wasn't a simple process. It takes a while, a long while. So, it's art, not AI. And yeah, Robert was just very conducive, and he's a great artist. He's got great style. Before this, we'd used Arthur Bazint for what I call our nuclear blast years because he did cover for all the artwork for the previous 3 records, and I thought it was going to be it was very, very hard to move on from such a great contemporary artist. But I think I think it's art, as far as I'm concerned, or far as I realised from having done quite a few interviews, people are digging it. People are digging the artwork, and I think it's a good representation of what lies inside the lyricism, the music, the atmospheres. It seals it up very nicely.
What I recognized also when I watched your music videos, your makeup style is always changing from record to record, from video to video. Is it also something, let me say, how do you feel? How you arrange your makeup? Kind of like, hey, I feel, I don't know, sad or something, and my makeup is reflecting that sadness or that song or that style, that your makeup is some kind of obviously influenced by your music and by the genre, but there is some kind of, let me say, a deeper meaning or a deeper level when it comes to your
Yeah,
makeup.
yeah, I think so. I think I get bored easily.
Mm.
Not generally in life, but I mean
Yeah.
with representation, I like mucking around, experimenting. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure if it's reflective of, I'm feeling sad or happy. I just think there's a myriad of ways to do it, and I like I like change. I didn't think I did originally, and then I suddenly realized, fuck, every album is a change, whether it's personnel or where you record it or who you record. There's so many attributes, and I suddenly, but yeah, change is a good thing. Change is what keeps the world moving, and yeah, I think I'd get very bored if I had to do the same makeup over and over again.
Mm.
Um, so no, I think it's cool, and I know that the people who do the videos, who do the video shoots and that, they get quite excited when they realize, oh, I can get to play and do something weird on his face.
I see, unfortunately, our time is running out. I got one question when it comes to a new record. One of my favorite songs is You Are My Nautilus. I hope I pronounce it right.
Nonsense. Yeah, yeah.
And there's some kind of Iron Maiden vibe. I don't know how I feel this, but it's very dark and yeah, I don't want to say it's not typical for Cradle. It's a little bit different, but for me, it's like the song which, when it comes to the new records, like yeah, that sticks to my mind. When it comes to this particular song, I don't know if you feel the same when it comes to this kind of song, or is it like yeah, you hear this the first time that somebody is talking about that song? That's some kind of Iron Maiden vibe in there.
Well, I think the baton has been passed to us as bastions of British heavy metal. I mean, to be fair, there's only 2 British people in Cradle of Filth now, 2 Americans and 2 Czech people, the Czech mates.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I feel that the bastion has been passed to us, handed down from the likes of Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Sabbath, twin guitar harmonies, especially. And yeah, I wouldn't say it mimics those bands. I think it's just a natural evolution of if you've got if you twin guitars and with the advent of our new guitarist Donny, who recently joined the band prior to this record, I think inevitably you're going to end up having that kind of vibe and those people connecting it with Iron Maiden, which is not a bad thing at all. I'd say Iron Maiden on crack would be more appropriate, but yeah, it's melodic, it's fast, it's heavy. I agree with you. There's a myriad of stuff on this record. It's not all. It's very it's very hard for me to describe it because there's so much. Each song is an entity unto itself. So White Hellebore, which is a new single, which will be coming out the week of the album's release, which is March the 21st. That song is predominantly different from Ex Sanguine Draculae, which is like more like dissection, more old school, more atmospheric. Whereas White Hellebore is more traditional heavy metal with a very goth chorus and blast beats. It's just so hybrid. And people have also pointed out that there's some sort of reminiscing, like musically, like some ideas sound a lot like Medien or Cruelty or Damnation in a Day. And I'm all for that because there's a band with a pretty strong identity. I don't think it's a bad thing to self-plagiarize if it's yourself,
Yeah.
self-cannibalism. It's the new thing. It's like some bands that have a strong identity, you don't want them to experiment too much in case they go off the rails and do something you go, oh no, go back to the formula you had before. That's why we loved you. It's a dangerous game, You can't be too different, but then you don't want to stay the same so everybody just goes, oh, it's just another record. And that's what we intended to do with this record. We didn't want to deliver one, like I say, with special edition or anything. We just wanted to drop a record like people did in the 80s or the 70s, where it's like, we wrote 9 songs. You got 9 songs. There's no intro, there's no outro, there's no commercial break for the Super Bowl in the middle. It's the 9 songs we wrote. Like it or lump it. But make sure that those 9 songs are all killer and no filler.
I can completely agree to this. It's very, let me say, that's a red line. Great songwriting. I think one of the best Cradle records since, I don't know, every record is special, of course, but for me, it stands out. Like Nymphetamine 20 years ago, the new record is like, wow, crazy banger after all these years still. It's refreshing.
That's music to my ears.
Definitely. And if I ever see a bad review, that person was never a Cradle fan or never listens to extreme music. I can tell you this. And for viewers out there, Danny, thank you very much. It's very important for the viewers. Please support good music, support the new record of Cradle of Filth. It's coming on March 21, so in a couple of weeks, actually. I wish you all the best. I hope to see you very soon here in West Germany.
Well, we are doing some shows over the summer. Yeah, I won't bore you with them now, but if anybody's interested, you can go to obviously cradleoffilth.com or the Instagram handles. We're doing between the big summer festivals, we're taking out the band of Vosa with us and doing some shows. And there's definitely some German shows there because we love Germany.
That's good to hear. Always too good to hear. Danny, thank you very much.
If you do have another question, the time's just come up and it says I've got another 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you feel like you were rushed,
Yeah.
if you think you've got it, cool.
Yeah, because we are closing our interview with our, let me say, final question, because our magazine is called moshpitpassion. And do you have some kind of silly, crazy, or even your last mosh pit experience, or even your first mosh pit experience, any kind of story to tell, then the stage is yours.
Well, nowadays, I really do hate with a passion this whole deathcore vibe. I went to a deathcore gig at the weekend, and I don't know who's to blame for this, but it's that whole right, I want to see. I mean, this must have been 50 people in the audience. I want to see everybody now. Move to the side, move to that. I want you all to rush together. It's like this. It seems to be more important for the activity in the mosh pit than the actual gig itself. It's like, they spent half the song trying to get people to do something in the audience who really just wanted to watch a fucking song play. But anyway, I have a few, but my most endearing one was not really endearing. It's horrible. And my bass player's got a similar story. But when I was young, I went to see Obituary play
Oh,
at it was the it's somewhere in London anyway. It wasn't a big place. Tufnell Park Dome, that's what it was called. And yeah, it was great. It was one of these gigs where they have like we had a lot of cool ones. It's either Earache or Peacefield would do these little, so it'd be like Paradise Lost, Sonic Violence, Carcass, that Bolther, Napalm Death, that sort of thing. But this was I think it was Demolition Hammer and Obituary, I think, or Morgoth, whatever. Anyway, Obituary played, and it was like a sea of people. It was proper early days where it was just people on stage jumping off, people on stage jumping off, loving it. And subsequently, I was getting more and more cocky, thinking, yeah, I'll go further and further back, and I'll go further and further out. And then I ran across the stage, and this big jet of stage smoke went out right in my face. I tripped, fell right into the guitarists. All their pedals went flying, like literally. Yeah, his guitar went down for about 2 songs, I think. I've actually apologized to them since that. I've actually told them the story. It's like, I fucking knew it. My friend, well, bass player of our band, he did a similar thing to Melt Banana. He got really, really drunk and was jumping off the stage, and he fucking tore the lead out of all their backing, like their drum machine and backing, well, whatever, they for all their backing tracks and that, and they had to stop the gig for a while, and it was very evident it was him. So yeah, they're horrible stories. I hate that. It was feeling really cocky and then almost ruined the show. Would hate that if that happened with us. But yeah, not brilliant stories, but
definitely funny that you were more or less responsible that 2 songs the guitar was more or less down. I
yeah.
guess the whole band was like, shit, thank you very much, Danny, Filth, for this turning our guitar down. And yeah, also again,
a long time ago. A long time ago. This was Cause of Death tour.
and yeah, again, thank you very much. I will
Pleasure.
cut everything, edit everything. Wish you all the best for the new record, and then I would say we see you this summer in Germany.
Thank you very much for all the nice comments. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Danny. See you next time.
Yeah, auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Moshpitpassion, for the passion of music.